I'll tell y'all the truth. I hate when people say pick one main AI tool, master that one only, because I feel like you should pit each AI against each other. Like most of the time, I will pit ChatGPT against Gemini. Sometimes Gemini wins, sometimes ChatGPT wins. Usually Gemini wins on stuff like the thumbnails. Usually it's Gemini that wins. But it's usually ChatGPT that gives me the best overall answer based on my company. Let me tell you a quick story about how I pit these two against each other, ChatGPT and Gemini, and basically planned out my whole future in this new AI industry that I'm going into. Literally planned it all out. This is somebody that's over 50, no AI experience, but it basically planned it out, and it even adapted to the fact that I'm not techie. ChatGPT gives me a lot of good answers, but sometimes Gemini goes into more detail. It gives you a similar answer, but it goes into more detail. But I put these two against each other, and basically they're saying all I gotta do really with this AI marketing company is to raise enough funds. I don't even have to really make a lot of money. I could just make the same money I'm already making, put it in my business account, and that will work. But raise enough money between grants and credit lines and maybe some credit cards. And then once I've made enough, I would say enough would probably be not a lot, believe it or not. Probably if I raised 150K, that would be enough to me to go to the next phase, which is to build a brick and mortar location. Because Blandrake, the company I just built, it is using a virtual address for my privacy. But in the future, this company's got to raise the money to build an even bigger company, a C corporation, and a brick and mortar location. Because number one, C corps, when you're going to raise money, they just raise more money than LLCs. It's been proven. They like the format of a C corp when you're going after company funding or you're preparing your company to go public or sell. Yes, you can sell an LLC. Yes, you can. But it's not going to get the level of a C corp in terms of money. So you get your brick and mortar location. And when I say brick and mortar location, I think people think it's got to be extravagant. It really doesn't. It could be a little hole in the wall, but just a physical location. You don't want it in the ghetto. I don't want to do one of these shared office spaces. I'm talking about a standalone brick and mortar location where you can have a physical office of your own. And by doing this, just that difference, having a physical location over a virtual address, the virtual address with the LLC is going to make some money. But the C Corp with a physical location, now you can go to the big three. And when I put the two AIs together, they literally told me that this is going to be the parent company of Blandrake, which is the marketing agency. This should be the parent company. It should be a brick and mortar location. It even gave me an idea for the name. I said I wanted a very short name that's catchy, that's probably not used, and it literally narrowed them down between the two AIs. And that C Corp now, by then, just me backing it with my personal, maybe for the first couple lines of credit, it might be necessary. It may not be, because I'll have so much money coming in from the agency that I could just put a portion of that money to get that up and going with a law firm. This is when you bring in the real professionals. You bring in a real law firm, you set it up right, you get your articles right, and this is going to be a parent company, AI. The AIs are telling me this because I'm not techie. This is going to actually be the company that houses a software that actually solves a problem. Now, here's where it gets more technical, but not really for me. All I have to do is get an idea to the AI, because I'm not really technical. I'm not a coder. I don't know how to do these major prompting. You got to give it something to work with. So what I did is I went to a black-owned company, social media platform that's very unique. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's Fanbase. I'll leave my Fanbase link below this video, and you could check out mine. But it's a very small, it's nowhere near, obviously, Facebook and these other companies, but it's growing fast. And it's black owned. It's owned by Isaac Hayes. For those of you who remember Isaac Hayes, literally the guy that died, he was doing a South Park voice for the chef. His son started this company. Now, what I did is took the framework of the idea, because the AIs are smart enough to literally, all you got to do is put the domain in. It scans the domain and knows all about the company already, just from using the net. Now you ask it a question. You say, what are the problems that this company might have? Design solutions for these problems and incorporate this into a blueprint for a software that I want to build. It literally took out the problems that Fanbase solves, because Fanbase solves some problems that Facebook and these other social media platforms don't solve, and it's gonna pay everyone better in the future if you really look into the history of Fanbase. And then it told me the negatives about Fanbase and what we could do to fix those, and now I could literally raise the capital. And I say, what am I gonna put the capital on? Literally, all I gotta do is hire somebody that does know how to code at this point. And then you got these platforms now that are like no-code tools, but if you know how to code, you can fix the little in-between problems quickly. You hire one person to build out your software, and you have the blueprint for them to go by. And I'm not technical. The AI gave me the full blueprint based on Fanbase, what we're gonna do. Remember, it already gave me the name, and that's the name you're gonna use to name the company. Remember, it's the C Corp. Now you have a product the banks like, technology. It solves the problems that Fanbase couldn't solve, but has the stuff that Fanbase did solve that the other social media platforms didn't solve. Now we have the framework, and we have the prototype now to go show investors if we want to sell the company or go public. And it'll be easy to raise money at that point, because you already have my AI agency over here working, making money. And this will be like the hustle, I call it the family LLC. So you're gonna have money flowing through it, always. And you're gonna be building, you're gonna be applying for grants with it, always. Some of that grant money, you could say, I'm gonna build a You don't have to lie in the grant. You can literally say you want to raise money to build your own software platform that's going to be the parent company to this one. And now, let's say your First Family LLC, mine's Blandrake. Let's say it becomes worth $250,000 that first year. Automatically, the C Corp, the parent company, is worth the same amount, if not more. And then because it's in a brick and mortar location, which is key, I'm going to be able to raise more money. I'm going to go to the biggest 3 banks, the main A banks, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, open a business account with the C Corp without any problems because it's not a virtual address. With the LLC, I might have some problems, like going to a real big bank, but I could probably get away with going to some fintechs, maybe some credit unions. But once you get to the C Corp level, you can literally open an account in any bank. Any bank. I probably would go to Chase first because I already have a relationship with Chase. But then I would also go to Wells Fargo and Bank of America, open accounts in there, take some of that grant money and literally just put it into those accounts. Not all at once, but keep at least $10,000 in each bank. Now you can go back to those banks and get corporate funding, just based on the idea. And you're always going to have money going through your C Corp because what? The baby company is going to send funds up to the parent company anyways. So some money should always funnel to the main company anyway until it makes money on its own. But this is such a great way to get advice on building a business. Literally in the past, you had to go physically talk to somebody on the phone and what should I do next? Literally pitting ChatGPT against Gemini, I got the best answers. I took some of the ideas from over here, some of the ideas from over here. I didn't even get into Claude yet. I didn't even get into using Claude yet. I can only imagine what Claude is going to tell me, because they say Claude right now is the smartest. So I can only imagine once probably today, I'm going to put the same information into Claude. That's the one thing I like about these AIs too. You literally go back and take a transcript of what you were talking about, put it over here to Claude, and let Claude think about it, and it might even give me better answers and a better business name. I don't even want to say the name. It's such a good name because it's short. It sounds like an AI company. I want to get the domain, so if I say it, you'll get some wise cracker that will go purchase the domain before I do. Short name, easy to brand. I don't know what logo I'll use, but I probably would use letters from within the name itself, even though it's a really short name. Or it might pick an animal logo, something like that, But when it broke down that this should be the parent company and knew what I was trying to do, it said this will be a great parent company for Blandrake. And I was like, wow, it understands what I'm trying to do. So literally I have the whole year planned out. All I gotta do is just raise money, any amount of money, for Blandrake, get it to the point where I've at least, I'm thinking 100, I'm thinking even 50. I could probably start this process with 50, but I would have to hire a freelancer. And I want to get enough funding where I could actually physically hire somebody in the company have at least a year's worth of their payroll, you know, and that might only be $50,000. Because I only need the first year of their payroll, get them to sit down, and I already have the blueprint. It ain't even like I gotta figure out, oh, what's the blueprint? What am I trying to build? Literally give them the blueprint. They can, if they're smarter than me, they'll know how to prompt it into these other softwares that could actually give the whole template of the website and everything. Link it up to my email list. Have a separate email list for it. Man, the possibilities are endless, guys. But when it broke that down, I was like, yo, this is better than a business consultant. You know, you really don't need a business consultant anymore. You literally just gotta come up with a way. You don't even have to spell anymore, because you could literally just say it. You know, you could hit the mic and it just literally say what you're trying to do. Sometimes I like to write it, sometimes I like to speak it. Usually it's more convenient to speak your idea. But when it told me that this should be a great parent company for Blandrake, I was like blown away. I was like, oh my God, it knows what I'm trying to do. It knows that I'm already planning to build a parent company, because I know a brick and mortar location is gonna make a phenomenal amount of money. And when I say literally, you could rent a house and it could be the address of your business. As long as you plan on being there for a couple of years, you could literally rent a house, use that as your business address. But I would probably recommend doing a regular brick and mortar location, because you'll probably stay there a lot longer because it's affordable. Like, I would recommend, if you could find something for $500 to $1,000, think about it, you win. You win. You only need $12,000 to cover the rent for the next year. It's going to be very affordable. And if it's over 1,000 square feet, you can actually set it up so you can have like a podcast setting. So you use it as an office and a place to make content. And the AIs told me all this. Gemini, ChatGPT. I really got to sit down and really play with Claude, because they're also telling me Claude, once you get to the coding side, is on the next level. So I'm excited about AI, at least right now. I understand it's replacing some people's jobs. It's even replacing mine as an Uber driver. It's replacing my job as an Uber driver. And I'm still excited, because I know if you learn AI, there's nothing you can't do. If you learn AI, there's nothing in this world you can't do. And one employee is going to be like having 100 if they're using AI. If they're even a smidgen smarter than me and they know how to code and they know how to do some of this stuff I don't know how to do, I'm going to go to the next level. Literally, all I could need is like one employee. You know, give them a nice, juicy title to make them feel good about themselves. You know, pay them fairly. I would literally pay them equal to what I make. If I pay myself $500 a week, they get paid $500 a week. If I pay myself $1,000 a week, they will get $1,000 a week. Because if you keep that person happy, they won't have a need to go anywhere. And then to suck them in further, you can literally give them a share in your company. Remember, you're building a company that you're going to take public or sell. Give them a share in your company. They'll never leave. They'll never leave, and they'll keep working probably for life. if you treat them fairly. But that's all I got for you guys. I was excited when especially Gemini gave me a lot of details on how to build this. I was like, wow, I don't need a coach anymore. You know, literally I could use AI and I now become the coach just following what the AI is telling me. You know, but I'll give you guys more updates on where I'm at with the AI marketing agency. I'm still looking for business insurance, because remember, business insurance is going to be a good way to get these banks like the proof of your business address. So I'm thinking it might work. So we're going to try that. But thank you guys for your continued support and watching. Continue watching, support, like, click that bell icon, and I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Thank you.